Hello and welcome to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. In the wake of the murder of Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA has seen a huge influx of interest and membership, with new chapters continually forming. In Oklahoma alone, 68 TPUSA chapters have been established, 20 of which are homeschooling chapters. In today's episode, I joined a TPUSA homeschool chapter in Tulsa, Oklahoma on its kickoff meeting and talked to the leadership team afterward to get a taste for what is happening with Turning Point USA all across the state. I just want to welcome you all to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. So you all are starting a Turning Point USA chapter here in Tulsa?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So why don't you, how'd you have the idea for that?
So a few days after Charlie's passing, I was really just starting to crave wanting to know what he was really about, because I've seen a bunch of his videos and I was like, oh, he seems so cool, I like his values, I like his principles. But then once I started really looking into it, I was like, this is really cool, this is something I want to be a part of. And then I came upon the college chapters, and I was like, oh, that would be so cool to be a part of once I get to college. And I went on the website and I finally found that there was actually a high school program, and I was like, I could do this. And so I literally while I was scrolling, I told my mom, I was like, hey, can I start Turning Point USA chapter? And she was she thought about it, she prayed about it, and then she was like, yeah. And so I filled out all the information, and I think it really was just, in the end, it's been such an amazing experience, and I think our mission and what we're doing is going to be so phenomenal for God's kingdom and the country.
Why don't you just each give me just your name and a quick word about yourself?
My name is Kaylee. I am the president of the club, and I am a competitive dancer with the Calling Dance Academy. So I spend about 20 plus hours in the studio, and I go to the Assembly Church, and they're such an amazing church, so I love that. And I volunteer at the Little Lighthouse and Happy Hands, and I go to Liberty University Online Academy as a sophomore.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Mia. I am the treasurer of the club. Fun fact is I have my own thriving business. I'm on the Little Lighthouse Junior Advisory Board.
What's your business?
I make homemade dog food.
Awesome.
And then I do piano. That's...
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm the secretary for this chapter. I go to Southwood Bible Church, really awesome church, and I am with Classical Conversations Homeschool Group. I'm a senior with them, and I'm a junior in normal high school. I play violin with the Tulsa Youth Symphony, and I love doing Turning Point stuff.
Hi, my name is Bodie. Something fun that I do. I guess I play football for NOAA, or Northeastern Oklahoma Association of Homeschool, or something like that. I'm the vice president. Sorry, I forgot about that part. I'm the vice president of the club. That's pretty much most of my week is football, so that's
Awesome.
A lot of it.
So how many of you were familiar with Turning Point USA before Charlie Kirk's assassination?
I think we were all aware, and we all knew of the Turning Point USA, the movement, but I don't think we knew how deep it went and how many different branches, you could say, there were. They were very much we were oh, he talks in colleges, and then there's the team of Turning Point USA, and they go around and talk. We didn't really realize that us as a community, we could grow that.
Gotcha. So how did you all specifically get together? Did you all know each other ahead of time, or?
So I can talk either way. I don't know. Kaylee started it, and then I had gone to a call with Kaylee before, and so she reached out to me and asked if I want to be a vice president. I said yes pretty quickly, and then it may have been a few days. I don't really remember anymore. And then Mia is her sister, so they knew each other, obviously. And then Claire.
And then Kaylee reached out to me I don't know, did you reach out to me? I don't know. Yeah, it was before fall break.
My mom texted you.
Yes.
And then you called, well, I called you.
Yes. And then, so we had been on the same dance team for a while, and we just knew each other from the Calling Dance Academy, had known each other for a long time. So when she reached out to me, it was pretty evident that I wanted to be a part of it, and it was just a really great opportunity to just work for God's kingdom and do the will of the Father.
Awesome. So what's kind of your overall goals for this group?
Our goals for this is to, we actually, when we were trying to explain it to someone, they were like, oh, so you're just trying to get a bunch of homeschoolers together and socialize them. And I think it really is more than that. Yes, we do want them to get together and like socialize, but I think we really do want to make like a community that's almost like family, like extended family. And also another thing we wanted to do, because the web of Tulsa homeschoolers is so wide and all of us know each other in so many really weird ways. Like, if we're being honest, like, oh, you know that person, I know this person, and oh my goodness, wait, we have the same friend, and like all of that kind of stuff. So the web is just so wide, and we wanted to, bring it in and kind of like make a community of conservative homeschoolers in the Tulsa area, because we all know each other. It's kind of in really weird ways. And then also because homeschoolers, I'm going to say this with a grain of salt, homeschoolers tend to be a little bit more sheltered, because we don't go to a public school, or we don't even go to a private school. So we are raised with our family's ideals, our parents' values, and all of a sudden when we go to college, boom, we're hit with all of this ideologies and all of these things, and we don't know how to defend ourselves, we don't know how to defend our values, and most importantly, sometimes we don't know how to defend our faith. I think the statistic is that like 1 in 10 Christians who go off to college actually keep their faith. And so what we really wanted to do was to build strong conservative community for reference, and then also to make sure people like just generally know what they believe in when they go off to college, because a lot of those times those professors will throw all this stuff at you and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Do I really believe what I believe anymore? Am I even real? That kind of thing. So that's also just another main goal that we had.
Awesome.
Love that. That's awesome.
So how many people do you have at your first meeting?
Do we know? Did we count the things?
We definitely have over 20. I would say total people, like not including adults. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear that whole part. Not including adults, we probably had 20 or 25 like teenagers in the high school category. But all in all, we probably had close to 40 people. I would guess. That's a good guesstimate, I guess. But we haven't actually counted our attendance and people who signed up. And that's not saying that everybody signed up. There could be people who didn't sign up. So somewhere around that. And our representative, Rob, said that this is the biggest attended first meeting he's ever been to. So that was a cool thing to be like, oh, like we weren't expecting nearly what we got. So that's pretty cool to start off. So
what kind of support is TPUSA giving you all?
So Turning Point USA, through this whole entire journey, mainly what they're doing is being a backbone and like helping us like start this. Rob, his main mission, like as we're doing this, is to help us getting started and like making sure that we follow like the strict procedure, but at the same time like they're letting us make our own like voice in the community. We're not just like so closely linked to Turning Point USA that we're like, this is exactly what we do, but we still, Turning Point USA is providing free activism kits for all of the clubs, and so those are just materials that will help us in our future meetings or activities or events. And there's such amazing like movement that they help us with that. Yes, and Rob, he's been amazing. He got the pizza tonight for our first thing. Well, not tonight, this afternoon. He really has been such an amazing help.
You mentioned that you're a little bit different because we don't actually have a campus since we're homeschooling. So tell us a little bit about how that makes your chapter of Turning Point USA a little bit different.
Yeah, so one of the main things that Turning Point chapters across the nation do is they do tabling events. So what that means is the club will set up a table at a school event, and they'll do discussion, they'll do debates with their fellow peers on their campus. But we are homeschoolers, so we don't have an actual campus to do that. So what that means for our club is that we are a little bit exempt from that part of a chapter. But what we can do, because we are one big web of homeschoolers coming together in this community, is that we can contribute back to the community. We can do community events, we can do volunteer events, we can do fundraisers involving the community, we can do a lot more just working within Tulsa, which a lot of other chapters may not have the opportunity to do.
So what are your general meetings going to look like? What would a typical meeting look like?
Our general meetings are going to be on topics that we decide on at a previous things like the Second Amendment, socialism, different things, and also events that we decide on.
At our events, I really mainly want to focus on really deep diving into different headlines that have to do with our activism topics. So really for the next one, for a little sneak peek, our next meeting will be Cocoa with the Constitution, and so I would love to not only have the part of the community where we do Cocoa, but also talk about the history of the Constitution and deep dive into the different amendments and really find the roots and see if there's any truth behind each one, and if they can uphold to our personal standards, each member, and then just really talking about the headlines in today's news and comparing them with different topics we're going to be talking about in the future. So that's
awesome.
Our little,
Great, fantastic. Is there anything else you want to share?
These meetings are open to all of Tulsa homeschool high schoolers. So if you want to come, please join.
Yes.
We will. That information will.
That would be so much fun. Oh yeah. If you would want to join or come to one of the meetings, we have an Instagram page and a Facebook page coming soon. It's Turning Point USA _Oklahoma _HSHS, because saying the whole thing is way too long.
Yes.
So definitely check those out. That would be so awesome if we could see you there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time with me.
Of course.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you for listening to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. Homeschool Oklahoma is an organization dedicated to promoting, protecting, encouraging, and equipping homeschooling families across the state. Please sign up for our newsletter at hsok.org. If you'd like to further help our cause of maintaining homeschooling freedoms in Oklahoma, we hope that you will consider joining with a paid membership as well. Thank you for listening.